everybody, welcome to SNS Southern Styles. I am today's host, Mrs. Taylor, and today I'm going to be showing y'all how to make these strawberry earrings. Now these are a bit more tedious to make, but not as hard as what you think, and we'll be experimenting with two different ways to do this to make it a bit more easier. So what you're going to be needing in order to make those earrings is a leaf mold. You can use any leaf mold you have, or if you have a leaf cutout, you can use that. I don't have one, so I'm using these. These are maple resin molds that I bought for autumn last year. This year, last year, I don't know, whichever one of the years. And you will also need a heart cutout, and I don't have those, and I need those. Oh no. There they are. And you will be needing one or two things. You will either be needing these little fellas, which it's just a wire with a basin on it, or you are going to need some eye screws. I will be making both of them, so that way you know what to do. And I just made a big old throw up mess all over the place. Alrighty, so let's get started. No, we cannot. I did not tell y'all the clay. And this is the clay we are using. You can use air dry clay or whatever type of clay. I just wanted to get more into polymer clay, and so I am. I'm just going to dump out the red clay that I have. Now when you first start messing with polymer clay, you have to work with it in order to get it soft. If you have your own clay mixture roller, not really obviously for sure what they're called, but that will help the clay get softer that will help the clay get softer quicker. I don't have one of those, but I do just have a normal roller, and that's what I'm going to be using. And I'll speed through this process. So at this point, I'm just rolling the clay out. I'm trying to make it even through and through, so that way everything works out good. So I am going to be cutting out 8 hearts. I had to make sure real quick. We will have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you only want to make 2 pairs of earrings, just cut out 4, but I am making 2 pairs, so I need the 8. I'm gonna move these fellas up here. Way they're not gonna get messed up any. That has dog hair on it. Okay. So I have our just piece of wire with the basin on it. I'm going to get one of our hearts, and I am going to put that wire down the very bottom end. Now I'm going to take another one of our hearts, and I am going to put it on top of it. So we made a little sandwich. Now if you have clay glue, one moment. Now if you have clay glue, I recommend you using this at this point. You would just put it down and then be done with it, but I don't have that. So, but it'll be okay. It won't come up hard on me. And we're just going to kind of smush everything together. Our little lines that we have, we're just going to roll back and forth to just get everything all nice and even. And this is going to be a very gentle process. Just be gentle with everything. See? All nice and even. And we're just going to kind of curve out the edges a bit. They don't have to be pointed. It's just a strawberry. Yeah, strawberry isn't perfect. They're all sorts of shapes and sizes. And there we go. Oh no. Sorry, I had fuzz. A bunch of fuzz on it. I don't know how I got all that fuzz on it. Anyways, this is it. And this is all you have to do on that end. If those are what you want to use, if you don't have those, or if you don't want to use those, we are going to use the screw eyes. I think that's what they're called. We'll be using these, but it's the same process. So you're just not going to put it down in the middle. We're going to stick it right there at the tip. Once again, if you have any of the clay glue, I recommend you using it for these. It just secures everything. Then we're going to go through and we are just going to make all the lines disappear. And it doesn't take much. You just roll your thing back and forth over it and it all goes away. You can use a pencil for this if you want. You can use whatever stuff you have for your resin. It honestly, anything would work for these. Now we're just going right back and forth. So all it's doing is just moving the clay back and forth. So that way it has a better seal. And I'm poking it right here just to smush the edges together more, because that part is the most important. And voila, we are done. We are done. I'm going to get these other sets done and then I'll be right back with ya. So I am done making all my little hearts. Now we're going to go through and we are going to make the chocolate, because my strawberries are going to be chocolate covered strawberries. If you do not want yours to be chocolate covered strawberries, just go ahead and skip this part. Now if you want your strawberries to be smaller than the ones that I've made, just get a smaller mold for the hearts and a smaller leaf and so forth and so forth. I have my chocolate here. I'm going to roll it out. And my heart cutout that I just had, I'm going to go through. I'm not going to fully make the full heart. I'm just doing the bottom parts of it, and I need 2, 4, 6, 8 of them. Let's do 4, 6, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now this one I made too big, so I'm just going to go through and recut it to the size that I want. You get out of here. And we're just going to pull these up. And these don't have to be perfect, because we're going to be making them look like they're dipped in chocolate. And if you dip a if you dip a strawberry in chocolate, it doesn't look perfect. Now we're going to go through, and I'm just going to kind of clean up a bit. Just a little bit. Get a little bit of the clay all cleaned. I'm just rubbing my fingers across it and then wiping my fingers clean, and that's good enough. I'm going to keep the brown out in case I need it. Now we are going to go through, and we are going to just, ta-da! And now we're going to go on to the other side, and ta-da! Now this is why I kept the chocolate out, because we're going to rub it flat if I can. Ugh. Stop it. And we are going to go through, and I'm just going to get a thin layer of chocolate. I want that piece of it. I like a flatter piece for it. And I'm just going to go through and stick it on and move it across, and then we're just gonna pull it up. There's nothing to it. And that same rolly effect that we did when we connected the two hearts together, that's what we're going to do to connect the chocolate together. And there's our chocolate covered strawberry. Said I used a little bit too much brown for this one, but it's okay. I am done messing around with the base layer of chocolate. Now we are going to work on the little squiggles. I don't know what they're called, but the squiggles. But this is what we're working on now. Well, I have my light brown. So I have my light brown, and we are just going to be rolling it back and forth. It does match the platform that I'm working on, so you might have a hard time seeing it. But I'm just rolling it with my fingers, making it even throughout. Every now and then I'm going to have to break it in half, so that way it can get as small as what I need it to. And we're just gonna keep on going. And yeah, gonna say this is going to be good enough. So I'll pick this piece up. Sorry, the clay is getting stuck to my fingers. Okay. We are going to just kind of kick those off of me. We are going to pick up this longer piece that I have. We are going to first put it down here, and we are going to move it across all the way back until it reaches each other again, and then we're going to pull it apart. Now we're going to come through, and we are just going to line up those ends just like that, and then we are going to just shape it, move it wherever we want it to be at. And there we go. And that's it. The reason this is it is because I'm going to dip this thing in resin, and when I do, it's going to hold all of those pieces together. I'm going to do it one more time to get another layer on it, but the rest of them, I'm not going to show this process just because it is a tedious process. And we're just going to kind of blend those pieces together. And we're just going to adjust. Have it look however we you want it to look like. Doesn't really matter. Ta-da! I'm going to set that off to the side, and I will get back to y'all when the rest of them are finished. Alrighty, well, I am done putting the swirl chocolate on. Now it is time to get started on the leaves. I'm going to have my green clay. I'm going to roll it out and smooth it out like how I've been doing with all the rest of my clay. I'm going to speed past all of this. My clay is the way that I want it to be. I'm going to use the molds. And I'm just going to roll up my clay up to a point to make sure that it gets right there in the corner. And I'm just going to smush it down. All nice and good. Now we're going to get another little, we're going to roll it up. And we're also going to set that down in the corner to make sure that gets a nice, good imprint. And same goes for this next little corner. Going to do the same thing. We're going to roll that up. We're going to press it down. Make sure it all gets a good imprint. Now we're just shaping it to get the look that we want and the thickness that we want of the clay. Now we're just gonna pop it out, and ta-da! Look how pretty that is. Now we're gonna come over here. I'm gonna drop a whole bunch of stuff. We're gonna come over here, and we're just gonna flop it right on top of it. Now since this one is the jump loop, we're gonna have to make sure that we leave enough opening to where we can get a jump loop through. We're just going to slightly press down on it. And see, there's our strawberry. Now if you don't like how big the leaf is, you can always choose a smaller leaf to put on it. I'm going to use the bigger one for this one, but I am going to transfer over here to the smaller one. So I don't like how big this one is, but I can do it right now. So, just gonna go through. Oops. Now we're just going, and yeah, you'll have a problem where it pulps out every now and then. It happens. So it's important to get enough down there that will hold down due to its weight and won't poke out. So this is a process. It's going to take a while for you to get the hang of it, and it's going to take a while for you to get used to the clay that you're working with. And you can also use air dry clay on all of this. You can get color air dry clay and do the same process. It will take a while for it to set out though and fully dry, but you can use air dry clay for this too. So, I used a smaller leaf this time. We're just going to drop it. Just going to drop it all over the place. And there's the imprint of that one. It's going to go through. And I messed up. It's okay. So here's what the smaller leaf looks like. And like I said, I'm going to go and I'm going to smush down right there in the top, so that way we can get a jump loop through. But there's the smaller leaf, there's the bigger leaf. So I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to do it with this one. Here's a good leaf here. It's about the size that I want. Leaf. That's just what all of this is. It's just experimenting. Finding what you like and what you don't like. Now we're just gonna pop it out gently because this one is smaller and it's going to roll up like what you just saw it doing. We're going to get our second heart over here. And we're just gonna flop it right on down. I'm just pressing it down so that way, gently, but that way it can just stay like that. We're gonna flip this one up. I'll gently take it out. I'll flip this bad boy over. We're gonna add a leaf to it. And right here up top, we're just going to smush everything together. And there's the strawberry. Now I'm going to work on these other two off camera. Oh, okay, I'm going to work on these other two off camera, but I will not see y'all until after these have been put into the oven. I'm not telling you what temperature I'm putting these in, nor how long. Whatever clay you are using, if it is oven-based clay, it will tell you on your own packaging. And do keep in mind that everybody's oven works differently. So experiment beforehand to make sure you have the right temperature for your oven and the right time. Good luck. Alright guys, well, they are done. Not fresh out of the oven. Let them cool before you mess with them because they'll burn you. But here's what they look like. Now, if you want to leave them like this, you can absolutely leave them like this. I'm going to put resin around the chocolate to make it look glossy. But if you don't want that, don't do it. So I'm going to do one layer at a time. We are going to work with the sides first to make sure those get good and done. And then I'm going to hold this over the UV light. Let me move that so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Let me grab this. So we're just gonna hold it. So it gets all nice and pretty and done. I'm going to show y'all how to do this one, but then the rest of them I'm not going to be too worried about showing because it's the same steps all the way through. And how you know if it's done or not, you just take a little thing and you touch it. If it's sticky, it still has to cure. When it's not sticky, you're good. So depending on how much resin you use on it depends on how long it will take to cure, and it also depends on the light that you have. Yep, and we're done. Let me get my cup back. Now we are wrong end. Now we are going to through, and we are going to do the front layer. Now make sure you don't really get the leaf, unless, I mean, you can dip the whole thing, the whole thing in gloss if you want. Now we're going to put the UV light back on and let that cure up all nice and pretty like. And then once that's done, I'm going to flip it over and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. That side's done. Now we're flipping it over to do the other side. And then after this, I'm going to be doing all the rest of them by myself. And I am going to skip through this drying process. So this is done, and now you can see what it looks like once it's all glossed over compared to when it's matted. So you can be the judge or whichever one you like. I like the way that the gloss looks, so I'm going to gloss over all of these. Once I am done doing that, I'll be right back with you. Alrighty, well, all my layers for my strawberries are done. I need that. So what we are going to do now is I'm going to show y'all how to twist these. Now, I am horrible at this, so I do recommend y'all watching videos from other people. That way they can teach you better than what I can, because my hands do not work the way that they need to in order to make these. So I'm going to trim a little bit of this down. If I can. There we go. We are going to take this and we're just going to twist. And you're just going to twist it all the way down until it looks like that. I'm going to trim a little bit of this piece off. We're just going to grab it and twist it all down. So you have these fellas, and you have these fellas. Now we are going to put these on some earring loops. I'm gonna get 4 out. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. So, got my 4. I'm going to take my earring loop. I'm just going to open it up. I'm going to take my strawberry. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to take my earring loop and I'm going to close it. That's it. That's all it is to it. So that's how you make these strawberry dip earrings. I hope that y'all enjoyed it. Y'all have a blessed day.